Wow. So from then onwards, you clicked as a group, and how did the name come about, NWA?
Well, it was from a guy out of a group called Yoma and Marky that I produced by myself. My first solo, group I produced, but he came up with the name NWA. He came up with it. I did not know that until me, Yomo, and Dre was together in the 2000s, and we happened to talk about it. And he said, "Yeah, remember when I came up?" I did not know he came up with the name. It would have to be, I would say, 85, 86, early 80s, somewhere around right up in there.
Sure. And back then, was the world, was America and the world ready for a group called With Attitude?
Not really. Not really, because I remember people used to ask us, "What did the name mean?" I used to say, "You don't want to know what it means." We was kind of not embarrassed, but just kind of, we ain't gonna say, just NWA. That's it.
Sure. Sure. I mean, you brought that reality rap onto sound and into millions of homes across the world. I mean, you address quite a lot of issues, police brutality and racism and all that. Today, it's still going on. Back was it last year in 2020 with George Floyd? I mean, your song kind of hit number one in the charts. It was kind of the theme of. We had the protests across the world, protests in the UK as well for the Black Lives Matter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, wow. Yeah. It was a worldwide. Film was playing one of your songs, "F the Police." It was, I think it was "F the Police," and I think Tupac's "Changes" was kind of number one, number two, kind of.
The download. They just downloaded it crazy, and
sure.
I mean, you know what's so crazy? We created the song, but we didn't create the issue. It was already there before us from the 50s and the 60s. It was already there, the 70s. Mm-hmm. We just happened to be bold enough or crazy enough to actually say what at that time everybody wanted to say to the cops. Sure. Nowadays, last year, they right in the cop's face saying that, you couldn't do that in our days. That would not be happening. But it's amazing. That song was made 30 years ago, 31 years or something. And it's still there today. It's still it's the same issue going on. I mean, it's nothing different, huh? It's the same thing. Now people got phones and cameras everywhere. So they catching them little by little, but they got to start prosecuting them, not just the one. They got to prosecute all these other ones. Then it'll slow it down. Sure. Once you start getting them, it'll slow it down.
Sure. I mean, do you think, in your personal opinion, are we any closer to eradicating this racism and police brutality throughout the world, or do you think we're any closer?
I don't think we are. I mean, it's more out and open now. More people understand it, because you see all the protests. That was a lot of people protesting. I mean, all over the world. I mean, it was, so it's getting, the awareness is there. They finally like, oh, they do that. Yes, they do that. But is it ever going to be fixed? I doubt it, because this is not a perfect world. Nothing's perfect. So it's always going to be there some way or form. I mean, all different kind of countries. Every country got different ways, different this. Racism, this, the police, it's so much. But can it be fixed a little? I think it could be, but I doubt it.